It is time for spring chores, and I thought everything was going wonderfully. And then I began on my rows, and it had a big surprise for me. It's a good thing I got into the garden early in spring. I can't believe it's time already. It's March and I have to get into the garden and get going on making some big changes. And those changes involve my plants, roses, lilac, honeyberries. So I'm gonna move some roses and I'll explain more about that. Yes, I'm gonna get rid of my honeyberries. I'm sad to let those go, but I'll talk to you more about it. I think it's gonna be okay. I think this is the right decision that I have to make for myself. Sometimes we don't like the decisions we have to make, but when you have a tiny garden, yeah, you have to be pretty picky what you have in your garden. So this is the lilac, and I have it in my kitchen garden, and I want flowers in the kitchen garden. I want it to be flowering throughout the summer. And if I put a rose here, that will flower. It's a repeat bloomer, so flower all through the summer until fall. This is a better place for my rose tree. So we're gonna remove this, and she's gonna take us. I have nowhere else to put it. I have another rose here. It's a climbing rose that I'm training to go all the way up this trellis where I removed the honeysuckle because he was getting sick all the time. So I think that's gonna look beautiful. This is a pink color, and it has some whites here with a little bit of hint of, I think, like pink in the center. So that would be really, really pretty. So let's get going on digging and starting to make this kitchen garden look like something. Guess who's here?
Oh my gosh. I got two right hands. I got two right hands.
Okay, I'll switch it. Okay, she's gonna help me get the lilac. She's gonna take it to her property, but let me give her the right gloves. Okay, we're going to dig out this lilac, and she's gonna take it with her. I want to try not to kill this rose.
Oh, the rose, yeah.
So Harolyn started her YouTube channel.
I did.
She's got one video, and I'm working on her to start posting more. Because she has a lot of property, right?
I have no skill with the video stuff, so yeah, bear with me.
None of us do. We just do it.
Oh, my channel on YouTube is Harolyn's Hobby House.
But I can't have stuff that only blooms for a short period in a small garden. I want to get something that is a repeat bloomer.
Absolutely. See, you're hitting those roots, right?
I'm guessing it's root. It feels like rock. It feels like concrete.
No, that's a root.
I don't want to kill the roots.
No, you won't. You'll be all right. You'll be fine. These things are hardy.
All right, we got done, and now I'm gonna make this hole to get it ready. I think I'm gonna wait for my brother to help me dig out carefully the other rose tree tomorrow, but I'm gonna at least get this ready so that I don't have. You hear that? That's the hummingbird. He's going all the way up super high, and he's diving at something over here, and I don't know what it is he's diving at, but he's not happy. Whoa. Oh no, now he's diving at me. When digging the hole for the rose, I want to make sure I don't make it too deep, because you have to have the crown outside of the soil or your rose will rot. So you really don't need a super deep hole. I like to make it a bit wide, and so it's not going to take a whole lot of effort because the soil is pretty much taken apart since we dug the other plant out. But make sure that crown is outside of the soil. That's where all the little branches come out from the center, or you're not gonna have a rose that's gonna last. And she's back. The bunny's back. Oh no. I was hoping she would find a new home during the winter, but she's back. removing the honey berries of these pots was a joke. This was so hard. It was all roots. It was way more difficult than getting the other plant off the ground. But somehow we managed. We're not damsels in distress.
We get it done.
We got it, 2 of them out.
Get it done.
She has 2 honey berries and I have 2 pots to plant. Maybe a lot of salad greens in it and some peppers. Let's brainstorm together this pot and my idea that I have to make it beautiful. I'm thinking placing one pot on top of another will give me so much height and drama. And then I want to make this more about food, but I want it to look beautiful. So I need to add some height with something dramatic on the top. And then repeat that maybe on a couple corners so that there's a lot of balance on how the pot looks. So different types of chard may work really well. I think that would be very dramatic because chard have so much dimension. Then I love the petunias. So Superbissima petunia, snapdragons. Did you know all that is edible? So I think I may do that. So a white chard on the top, maybe another one there on the corner. I think that a purple one would look really beautiful, the dark purple one. And the petunias have really large flowers, so you can use them in teas. They're edible and they bring a lot of drama to a pot. And then the snapdragons, you can lay them down so that they spill on the corner and you can have them straight up on the top. I think this may end up working really well. So let's finalize this. Here's the final sketch that I just finished, and I think this is gonna end up being really pretty and we're gonna be able to eat everything from it, which is great. I have 2 of these because there were 2 honey berries. So I started with the really large chard on the top. That's the 4-foot giant Swiss chard, and that with the big leaves on the height is gonna anchor the top so nicely. I just love this one and I think it will be the perfect anchor piece. And then I'm going to balance it with the left side. I'm going to do the ruby red rhubarb Swiss chard. I think the red against that white will be so pretty. And if I add like a purple plum deep color on the right, so I have the Firebird hybrid Swiss chard, that will be like the perfect triangle right there to anchor the pot. So I think I'm gonna add snapdragons. I'll plant them horizontal so they spill down like a waterfall. And then I'll add one on the top, which will be vertical to add more height and contrast with the scale of the chard, the white chard. And you can eat this, which is great. If you have ever ate the snapdragons, let me know. I would love to know what you did with them. I wonder if my bunny will love them. But yeah, that one on the top against the chard will be, I think it'll be perfect. And I'm growing a ton of snapdragon this year and start just a handful. So we'll see how that looks. And another one I want to add, because I think the scale will be perfect, is the Superbissima petunia. If you know me, you know I grow these every year and they're incredible. Their flowers are so big and you can have them in tea. So I'm going to do one on the top and on the bottom tier and on the same size. So it looks like it's spilling all the way down. That will be a really amazing scale change from the snapdragon. That will be perfect. And then on the right side, I want to do, as you know me, I love red Merlot lettuce. And I'm going to add it on the right next to the chard because the plum purple with this reddish deep red burgundy is going to be so pretty. The snapdragons is that bridal color, so it will be softer. So I think the contrast will be perfect. And then I'm just going to add salad greens throughout the pot. So I can't wait. This is going to be really nice. I will do this all the way around both pots, and I think it'll add so much to my small garden. I'm excited to see this and see how it works out. My next task is I'm going to go the secret garden. I have some calendula, my resin calendula, that is growing. I don't know how it didn't die because we got freezing weather. So I'm gonna clip it back so that it goes really well this year. These, I have these coming out, and I think if you can see, let me show you. So you see how it's growing like a little branch off of this main branch right here. I am going to cut it. I don't know if you can see that. See how there's these two are vertical and then this is horizontal? I'm gonna cut it right there. And then I'm gonna get rid of these extra branches and let it grow this one and this one here. Let's cut this here. And then I'm gonna come and cut these. And then I'm gonna clean these. And it should do pretty well. I'm gonna leave that one. It's doing okay, so. Okay. I could cut it all the way down because there's new ones coming out on the bottom, but I'm just gonna leave those. On this one I have, this is all falling and it's gonna bloom there, but I'm gonna cut it all the way back and let it come back. And then this one is coming out vertical. I'm gonna cut all these off. Oh, that's much better. Yeah. I am always amazed how one little plant that survives the winter in my bare garden makes me so happy. Just to see that flower, it just makes my week. Pick up all the leaves that are on the floor because I don't want any diseases to spread. If you want to learn more what I do to maintain my roses, all my tips and hacks that I do, I will link a video below. I go super into detail on how I maintain it, how I plant them, how I fertilize them, feed them, everything. So if you want to see it, that will probably help you if you want to start growing them. They're not that difficult. They're awesome to grow. Like this one is really sick after such a wet winter. So I'm going to remove anything that is totally sick. Good. As I'm starting to prune the rose, I know it's early in the season, but I had to because this rose was so sick, and I'm realizing there's something more serious going on with this rose. I think I need to prune it back and then come back and look at it again because I don't think it's gonna make it. It was pretty sick, and I've had it on that pot for a couple of years, but after looking at it the next day I realized, oh no, there's something bad happening and I could smell it. I found the problem. Of course, my camera, I pressed the wrong button and I could not get this to work. The voice didn't come through, but I was trying to tell you that I finally found what was wrong, and it had to do with the pot. I didn't know exactly, but it was so wet, and I was a little concerned that it may not make it, but I was going to try to save it. Take a look at my dwarf peaches. They're waking up and they were doing so good. I am excited because I got them last year. So this year, the apple colonnade and the peaches should give me at least good fruits because I had 2 peaches last year and only 1 apple, no, maybe 2 apples. And they were delicious. I'm hoping this year I get some more. I need to stake this tree because this colonnade is crooked, so I gotta fix it. That will be placed on my list for this spring. I'm gonna finish cleaning and then I will tackle the rose after. This was an existing rose I had and I relocated it to this area, and I'm gonna cut right above where there's new growth. So you just have to decide where exactly to do it, because you will have these coming out all over the place. On branches that are the main stems of your rose, where the little ones, the cross branching, will come back out, I try not to cut too far back. So right in front of the little growth, I'm gonna cut, but I'm gonna go further up because this is one of my lead branches. It may not seem that important, but cleaning up and picking up everything that's on the ground, dead leaves, dead flowers, branches, it is critical to go ahead and have the rose not get any diseases. If this feels like the kind of gardening you want more of, the slow, soulful kind, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so we can grow together. All right, I'm gonna tackle this rose. It's the next day, it's Saturday. So it is beautiful today. I wish it stayed like this for the whole week. I could do so much gardening. I have so much to do out here, but it's gonna rain like crazy. But let's go ahead and I'm gonna cut this whole thing down and then get it off the pot and see if I can just plant it directly on the soil. My brother's here, so maybe he can help me make the hole, because I couldn't make the hole before. That's why I put it in a pot. I'm a bit stubborn, so I always like to try first to do it by myself. It's just relaxing to me, even though I constantly get hurt. But I'm gonna prune the whole rose down. Oh, this hurt so bad. But I had to prune it down in order to remove it and be able to plant it on the ground. But it will be okay, it will come back. So I will do this and then see if I can make that hole and see what is causing all this water. I found all this water on the soil. I will be showing you when I finish pruning this. Wow, this is really wet. It's not good. Oh my gosh. The roots are growing. If you see, the roots are growing past the pot. I gotta cut these roots or it's not gonna. So this is what happened. The roots started growing through the hole and then the water couldn't come out because the plant was getting too large. So that makes sense why it wasn't draining. So now I gotta get them cut off so that I can get the plant through. Okay, so I have the plant out and I gotta dig a hole in there and then I can plant that right there and hopefully it will do okay. Whew. The pot was full of slug, of course. They're all happy with the wet, so I'm gonna go ahead and discard them. That's perfect. I don't want the crown rotting, so I'm gonna get the soil below this right here. You want it to be above that, where all these little shoots come out. I want that to be out. I cut all these extra ones. I don't want the rose working extra to maintain anything that's already dying. So I'm gonna clean all that up. And she's all ready for spring. I put the compost on top of the fertilizer because I don't want it running down when it rains this week. But I really should have placed it where this big one was facing that way, so turn it around. But it's fine, I'm gonna just train it to go that way. And there will be new ones coming out and I'll just train those. And eventually I can probably get rid of this one because I don't have a whole lot of space, but these are all facing that way anyway, so it should be okay. Okay, my brother removed the rose tree here. I did not film it because I did not want to be on the way. I didn't want him to damage the root system of the tree. So here is the tree. I went ahead and pruned this pretty short. You can see the buds are already coming. It's only been less than a week. I could probably cut this one even shorter at that node, right on top of that node. I'm probably gonna do that, but it's already, I mean, it has so many leaves coming. I went ahead and planted it here. It's a little close to the back, but I was afraid that it was too forward. It may be on the way. I kind of wish I'd given it more space. I keep thinking I should move it again, but I'm afraid to move it at this point. But there's the base. I went ahead and placed some fish compost on it. And that has a lot of sort of mulch because there's a lot of wood in it, and that will protect it in case it gets pretty cold again. And it has something to support it. So far it's doing really good. I went ahead and fertilized this really well, and then I did the same to this one that's growing. It was here from last year and it's starting to get leaves. It's still pretty cold here for us, so it's gonna be a little bit before it gets warmer, and the sun is not hitting that one yet, so once it hits it, it'll start doing really well. I am excited to see how this is gonna look this year. I think it's gonna be really beautiful with both roses. And this area is all clean. It looks really nice. It's all starting to wake up. There is the rose that I moved into the ground. It looks fantastic. I think it's gonna do so much better. It's starting to get little growth. I don't know if you can see, but down here. And this one looks really good also. There come times that we may not want to make the changes, but we need to in order to get what we need for our mind, our body, and our soul. Keep plugging away in the garden.